with that, the next story is mine. Guess whether or not it's good news.
Yeah. Probably not.
I guess it's not really so much news of an event.
The name of the show again?
TheNonProphets.
It's going to be bad news.
Oh, okay.
But here you're
not a prophet.
You're asking us to prophesy what your next story is.
Yeah, I can see his screen, though.
That doesn't count as prophecy. Also, you can see my screen, so it's basically, psychicness or magic.
All right, what do you got?
Which means you're cheating. So, George Pell, which you'll remember as Cardinal Pell, who is currently going through a trial. He's Catholic for child sexual assault. Which the judge calls callous, brazen, offended. I think he's been convicted of some, but there's more. I can't keep track of all of the Catholic sex abuse.
Yeah, no one can.
I'm trying a little bit. Maybe I'll get some AOC laser focus on this. But anyway, George Pell's lawyer says child abuse was, quote, plain vanilla sex. And this is as he heads to jail.
Wait, what?
Right. So it should be, so he should gain some sympathy for that, some lessening of his sentence, perhaps?
So it's not as bad if it's plain vanilla rape.
Mm-hmm. Let me get this straight. It was plain vanilla rape, not the kinky kind.
To be very clear, he said plain vanilla sex, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay, it was plain vanilla sex with an underage child.
Quote.
Yeah.
Let's see. He's the most senior Catholic cleric ever to be convicted of sexual abuse. And he's not even really that
Yeah, and
senior,
I was going to say, actually, do we... Because Pell is a big deal. He was...
I think it was Boston. Or am I confusing that with...
I think you are.
No, the guy from Boston escaped to the Vatican, where he was protected by international law, and then died peacefully there after helping to elect our most recent pope.
Cardinal Pell was, I think, he was like a treasurer or something.
Yeah.
In Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because they're better.
He was pretty high up the ladder. He's a really big deal. As far as asshole Catholic priests that have raped a bunch of kids, he's way up the ladder.
Yeah, and that is a competitive leaderboard.
Yeah.
Anyway, define for me the type of sex happening here.
He's been taken into custody following a sentencing hearing.
Okay.
In which his lawyer described one of Pell's offenses as a, quote, plain vanilla sexual penetration case where the child is not actively participating, end quote.
What?
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and not repeat that, even though you said what.
You guys know me. I'm not usually this speechless, but what?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's one way to.
Oh no, it's just like a normal wife who doesn't want to participate. She's just laying there. The child does not want to participate. They're just laying there. It's just vanilla.
They're not,
what
quote,
the fuck?
Not actively participating.
I have to assume that two Catholics...
If the child participates, does that somehow make it better or worse?
I can't even comprehend that question.
There's probably some church
vanilla means
people
common.
or advocates that would say yes. There probably are some people who would actually make that argument.
They should not.
Vanilla means common, and so I have to assume that the Catholics think that sex with underage children is common.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly looked in that way.
It is, but that's not the point.
Not in the general population. So his lawyer did withdraw the application for bail. The chief judge said, quote, "Take him away, please," end quote.
Wow.
Which
I wonder why.
Even in a foreign country, I've never heard a judge speak quite that candidly or say anything even close to "get this person away from me."
Right.
But
he was pretty sure he was about to get a little delusional.
So he's in a maximum security facility where he will be kept in protective custody and remain alone for, I think, up to 23 hours a day, which I think is standard practice. You get an hour to shower in prison or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and so our producer has let us know that his title is in the lower third. I think they'll probably say it in my ear as well so that I can pass it on. But so he is prefect emeritus for the Secretariat of the Economy. So, like you said,
pretty high up the church hierarchy.
Yeah.
Treasurer, but with fancy name.
Yeah.
Well.
So with this, can we say, it's about fucking time?
Yeah, I mean, it's past.
Yeah.
Fucking God, fuck.
I mean, I think any
I was going to say something, and then
any kudos would be, no, it's about fucking time.
Well, what I would say is kudos to the prosecutor.
Yeah, actually, that's what I was going to say. I wonder how long it took them to come up with that.
Yeah, I think you meant like as far as the Catholic Church's efforts to.
Yes.
Oh, look, in the United States, there's all the reports of, look, we released names of a bunch of suspected...
who are either dead or already defrocked in some other...
Yeah, or their crimes are past the
statute.
Statute of limitations.
Which is sort of interesting because it's not like they went around in the United States and compiled those reports, like the one out of Pennsylvania. And there was one out of, I think, Texas.
No, that was one where they only compiled the dead and the already past statute.
No, that's what I mean is I'm including that because that's as good as I go. The one out of Pennsylvania was not done by the Catholic Church.
No, it was done by the Attorney General.
Yeah, and so it included most.
Yes.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting because they didn't have to go, oh, well, let's see what our records are and have it. They had the list.
Right, they know.
Yeah. I'm just sort of like...
Shuffling, rapists, priests around all over the place.
Why are there still Catholics?
Well, because they believe in God. It's sort of like, why are there still soccer fans
if you have a Catholic relative that has an excuse that you're aware of, go ahead and, email it to us or put it in the comments below.
So here's
I'd really like to
here's
hear
where I fall on that.
Anything decent.
If it's your belief in God... I'm not going to try and talk you out of it unless you're okay with that, or at least talk to you about it unless you're okay with that. And if you want to go to the church and hear the guy talk and drink the wine and eat the bread, whether you believe it's humans and blood or just wine and bread, fine. But when the offering plate gets passed around, your decision to put money in it is very different than your decision to practice your fucking faith. Because... Jesus didn't say, there's parts of the Bible that say, so never mind. But
the Bible says a lot of fucking things, but at the end of the day, this Cardinal Pell motherfucker was sentenced.
I guess my question would be, how can you live with yourself knowing that you're funding... the church.
But at the end of the day, the Bible says a bunch of stuff, a bunch of Vatican policy says a bunch of stuff, but the cardinals and prefect emeritus for the economies say, quote, plain vanilla sexual penetration where the child is not actively participating, end quote.
Rape.
So you can talk about how you love the Bible all you want, but when you put money in the tin, you're paying this guy's salary. Well, not anymore, but you were paying this guy's salary, and you're paying the next one's salary.
Because we know there's more of the same type of vanilla child rape.
It is the preponderance of the evidence, and...
I would bet non-vanilla also.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, you're
you're accurate, but still.
Yeah. Oy vey.
Oh, man, I wish I had another palate cleanser story. After that, I don't.
Well, shit.
I feel like, hey, control room, do you have a little short video of kittens or something?
I'm sure somewhere. The cuddle pig.
Yeah.
And secular sexuality.
So there's also reports on the Vatican also said its doctrinal department will open its own investigation into Pell, which is like the Vatican's going... Ooh.
Because they're so good at policing themselves. Fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, to be clear, they're doing it after civil officials have, but it's sort of like, oh yeah, maybe we should do something about that and de-Jesusify his special hat or whatever.
Oh no, you're having affairs with married women. Let's shut that down. Oh, you're fucking a little child. Oh, just continue. Just make it in the rectory.
Yeah, and that is not an exaggeration. They have taken swifter and more decisive action for.
I know it's not. That's why I said it.
I know. I'm re-highlighting it that she's not just being as flippant as we like to be. Sorry, we're really hammering home that there are parts of the world that are bad stuff is happening.
I
say we. I feel like I can take most of the credit, particularly for the amount of time I ranted about judges. But oh god, I mean, there's more that the lawyer went on. And
do we really want to hear more? Do we?
I mean, do we want? I don't want it to have happened or been said, but I don't know. I mean, so
you should probably know.
Yeah. Okay. So. Allow me to provide a larger context for his statement. Brace yourself, it's still bad. So Richter, which is Pell's lawyer, tried to argue there were, quote, no aggravating circumstances, end quote, to one of the offenses. He's been convicted of abusing 2 13-year-old boys. Or I don't think they've explicitly used the word rape. They've used sexually assaulting. But I have, rape. It was, quote, no more than plain vanilla sex penetration, a plain vanilla sex penetration case where the child is not actively participating. But
bad choice of words, dude. Bad choice of words.
So the chief judge...
He worked on that for a while. Yeah. He tried his best to make it sound innocuous.
I wouldn't take that client, but,
so that lawyer at this point?
Well, additionally, yeah. But so the chief judge responded, it must be clear to you by now, I'm struggling with that submission. Looking at your points here, so what? Right? So, yeah. Mm-hmm. He said that he saw Pell's behavior as, quote, callous, brazen offending, quote, and, quote, shocking conduct. He did have in his mind some sense of impunity. How else did he think he would get away with this? There was an element of force here. This is not anywhere near the lower end of offending. Which
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still just
so that was the judge saying?
Yeah, the judge was saying,
what?
Yeah.
I'm still just going back to, just sheer...
Yeah, it was real bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like even saying it in that way is sort of
undercutting how bad it was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he told him that get him out of my sight, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have the exact transcript in front of me.
That's the gist of what you quoted earlier. Was he said basically get him the hell out of my court.
Yeah. So I think he finished the more significant portion of his set, and we can end on this. Sorry, people that don't like listening to this at this length, but it is important, and the heinousness of a crime can help motivate activism and change, and that's why we read it. So the last quote I'll read from the judge is, quote, nothing is to be gained here by comparing different forms of sexual abuse of children.
Yes. God.
Okay.
Of course, I need to make a judgment of the overall gravity of this, but there is a limit to these kinds of comparisons. Yeah, kudos. Can we elect that guy to any of the things we've said?
I think he kicked Pell out before he became overcome with delirium and maybe did something a little bit more drastic.
So did we have at least one other story for the evening?
Yes,
I'd like to add one thing, though.
Oh?
Yeah. I think, any Catholic that attempts to lecture anyone else about morality should just burst into flame.
Do you mean literally or metaphorically?
I mean literally. They should.
Well, so
they should just burst into flame.
So again, even though I harp on these abuses a lot, I'll acknowledge that they're by priests and members of the Vatican, and that, you know, people that go to a church, if a person told me, yes, I go, I like the songs, I believe in transubstantiation, whatever, but I can't donate money right now because I'm at the church.
I understand that.
I would say you know, I'm not going to light that person on fire. I'm not going to light anyone on fire.
I mean, they are still supporting.
Well, I'm just saying
financially.
They're bursting into flame for the sheer temerity of the nerve of doing that.
I mean,
I'm not saying anybody's setting them on fire. I'm just saying, as a physical consequence, you know, rules of the universe should be that you burst into flame.
When you do this,
you have a much more fire and brimstone view of the universe than I think I'm comfortable with. What I will say is, so, like, in my mind, you know, a Catholic person that then decides, I'm not going to attend church, but I still believe Mary, Jesus, Joseph, cannibalism of Jesus, whatever. Again, I mean,
sure.
I feel like that's, I don't know. Am I off base here a little bit? I think I may be off base for bringing up this point in the immediate aftermath of
you can still believe in that stuff,
Yeah.
but call yourself something else.
Look, I feel like you're still supporting the church, even though you're not supporting it financially. So
if you are a Catholic, you are bolstering their numbers at least.
True.
Yeah, you're still like kind of justifying.
Yeah, we're beating a dead horse.
Yeah.
Well, actually, because there's another perspective on that, which is that how can you believe that these priests and the Vatican are God's representatives on earth and believe that God is just if this is what happens?
This is what they do. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you reconcile?
And to be part of that organization.
And yet they do have just bewildering cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
You should not be part of it.
Yeah. Well,
do we want to get this?
That take the storytelling away from me, Kevin, quick.
Okay.